Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872.
Happy New Year, and as we get the year started, let's get your financial picture in focus by getting a budget and getting those spending habits looked at. Reach out to me at coachwesc@gmail.com and we'll get you off to a good start.
This segment is sponsored by Bobby Clary State Farm. Call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right. All right, guys, welcome back into the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist.
You're getting very quick with that.
I know, reporting to you live in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina from the Wave Beach Realty Studios.
Episode 35.
Season
2, episode 35. This is season 2.
Yeah, we're rolling now.
We're getting going.
We're rolling. We got like almost 70-something videos on already. I mean, we're content-wise.
I want to see the analytics again. Not now, but...
Yeah, I can send you...
Send me a link to the analytics again, because we were a week and a half ago, we were at 200 and some subscribers and at 10,000 views, and now we're at 391, and we've had tons of views the last 2 weeks. Right, yeah.
So, we have two videos that have had over 4,000 views, and we've got
some of the short ones, right?
One was my real estate prediction for
that's right, yeah.
4.9 thousand.
Good job.
And then the truck almost hitting me on the highway got 4,000.
So you don't even need me. You could just make your own.
The wallpaper house.
Your own channel and
play. Well, the ones that get the best hits are like random stuff that's not like us talking about fun the stuff we talk about, which is kind of funny.
Maybe that's tells us something.
Your Hobbiton one went off pretty good.
Yeah,
that one went pretty good. Yeah,
I had to go to New Zealand to get that one.
I know, right? Yeah, it get expensive trying to get. That's true. We've got 400 watch hours.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's 300 of the hours are on my real estate prediction, but
no, it's not pretty good then.
I'll send you these analytics anyway. We're getting back into we're talking about more of these executive orders today. Round 2 of that.
Round 2, and we covered a lot last time from him rescinding Biden's orders to national emergency at Mexico, declaring cartels enemies of the state, basically.
Yep.
Staying in Mexico policy, the birthright issue of Constitution Amendment 14.
Yep.
Energy and environmental executive orders, getting out of the Paris Climate Treaty.
Yep.
DEI and transgender orders. And then we ended up by talking about federal workers coming back to work, but that's not the only thing that he passed that is going to affect federal workers. They also, what were some of the other ones he hit? He
froze. It doesn't apply to immigration enforcement, national security, or public safety, but
or military.
Yeah, but he froze a hiring freeze, and then he also reinstated the Schedule F executive order, which made it easier to fire civil servants deemed disloyal.
Some people would say, "Okay, here we go, dictatorship."
Yeah,
but at this point, if you work for the executive branch, then you're supposed to adhere to the executive branch.
Right.
I don't understand these bureaucrats who think, "Oh, well, I know better than the president." Well, I'll be honest with you. Some of you may know better than the president on certain things, but guess what? Who's in control? Guess who got voted to be in control?
Right. Yeah.
So how many of us have had a boss in our past that we know didn't do what we should do? But you still work for them.
Yeah, it is what it is. They may make the wrong decision sometimes and things I don't agree with, but then sometimes they do things and then I see it in the long run like, oh, he was right about that. And sometimes I was like, no, he wasn't. Or she wasn't.
And the majority of the time, I think Trump is right about some of the stuff he's doing. But people are getting caught up in this because I saw one video of a couple who lady had taken a job with the federal government. They sold the house. I was under contract and ready to move, and now it's on hold. It's in a freeze.
Yeah.
So she's caught in the middle.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last time. When you're doing something this big, it's going to cause hardship somewhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. Employees are not required to personally or politically support the current president, but they must faithfully implement administration policies to the best of their ability. Okay.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's like do your job, but you don't have to agree with me.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, normal. That's for anybody.
That's life.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything. Like when I don't have a boss now, but when I didn't agree with a lot of stuff my boss said or the way he maybe treated employees sometimes. But at the end of the day, that was his method or her method of operation.
Yeah.
And I had to respect him and do my job and show up and get my paycheck and, disagree with them privately or talk to them about it. But yeah.
I think a lot of these bureaucrats have gotten a ego and feel
Oh
like they're
yeah.
more powerful than what they think.
Oh yeah.
So,
A lot of them.
yeah.
A lot of them, unfortunately. Yeah.
Next one on the list is a big one,
Oh, the
and we're
pardons.
actually, last I heard, there's still some that haven't been released. J6 pardons and clemency for actions.
Yeah.
14 had clemency so far. I imagine it's going to go up,
Yeah.
but just a blanket pardon across the board for like 1,500 plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that means, and those pardons are just for the ones who've been I guess, convicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cases that were still, I mean, they were still prosecuting these cases. I saw one
Yeah.
video on Newsmax the other night. Lady was supposed to report to jail in a few days. She was waiting to hear if she'd been pardoned. Not she didn't, but her friend
Mm-hmm.
was just getting ready to go to court over it. So as
Mm.
far as I know, those have been dropped.
Okay.
So all these people are finally free.
Oh
And
wow.
Trump, I've heard Trump describe it several times that he always gets cut off by the reporters. I don't think he finishes his thought,
Right.
and he doesn't have time to, what does he call it, circle around?
Weave.
Weave. Yeah, he doesn't have time to weave back because there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what he's saying. He's like, look, okay, some of these people did do some things they probably shouldn't have.
Right.
And even the violent ones. But look at what they've gone through for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And okay, one of them hit a cop. Okay, they should be charged for that. But they've been in jail for 4 years and that had due process of law.
Right.
So when at the end of the day, what more punishment do you want for them?
Right.
Do you want life? Do you want life in prison for hitting a cop?
Right. Right.
Come on, we don't even do that for murderers anymore.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and he keeps bringing up the point, we're not doing this across the board to anybody else. And these people have paid a price.
Right.
Even the ones that are in a court case right now that have been dropped, they have paid a price.
Yeah.
And their life has been made hell.
Right.
By, again, not following the due process of law.
Exactly. Yeah, and what's crazy about, and I know this is still very very controversial, but half the reason they were rioting is because it's, if you look at the statistics, it's very, I wouldn't say obvious, but there's a lot of factors there that show that what they were rioting over may have been very well true. Like it was very. You're never going to convince me that Joe Biden had more
what do we
votes than any other U.S. sitting president.
Like we said, they're still counting votes.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense. So I mean, not that you should go riot. I never condone breaking into places and rioting and destroying things. That's never the way to fight anything.
But the video I see, the majority of it wasn't that. There was that. I'm not saying there wasn't that.
Yeah, it was
that.
Yeah,
but the majority of it was not rioting.
Yeah. Well, they didn't do. I mean, a lot of the rioters that happened when during COVID and everything, when they were burning down cities and everything, are those people in jail? Or I don't think anybody got arrested for that I'm aware of.
Oh, which one?
When everything was going on during COVID and people were burning down cities and rioting and stealing stuff from store. I mean, if you treat all of it with the same energy, fine. But that they don't bring that up. But it is what it is, I guess.
So, 2020 was 81 and 77.
Trump won 77 when he won president, trailing only 81 million that Biden got in 2020. Yeah, I just don't believe that more people voted for Joe Biden than Obama. I just don't believe that.
So 81 voted for Biden and 75. So that's 7 million votes. Plus, how many more did I don't see the numbers where he actually won more this time than he did in 2022, didn't he?
I don't remember how much he had against Hillary. That one was close though.
Not Hillary, but against Biden when he lost.
Oh, gotcha.
But anyway,
either way, the numbers don't make.
They're still counting the votes, by the way, like you said earlier in another podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the numbers will get closer, but there's a lot of evidence that something was wrong with the 2020 election.
Right. Oh yeah.
There's so much wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're the ones who turned it into, and I honestly believe they used it to the benefit to do what they've done the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Because one story you have not been hearing about that I think you need to hear more about is the bombing, supposedly attempting bombing of the DNC in Washington. Because Harris left the Senate and went there, and there has never been a reason why she was there, but that was when they discovered the bomb there.
Okay.
It was almost like it was going to be a narrative that some right-wing conspiracy person was going to blow her up, and then they were going to make a big deal about that.
Yeah.
Then the stuff started happening at the Capitol, so they scrubbed that psyop.
Right.
And so Dan Bongino's been all over that. He even wrote a book on it, I think.
Yeah.
And so I just don't trust anybody in Washington.
No, I
so
mean
many
they've
things to
given us
wag the dog.
everybody in Washington has given us plenty of reason to believe that they're not trustworthy.
Yeah.
I like I said, I'm hopeful that it changes, but anyway,
Now, out of that 1,500, did somebody get pardoned that probably shouldn't have? Absolutely.
probably.
But then again, all these people Biden pardoned before he left office, a lot of them shouldn't have been pardoned.
A lot of them should literally be in prison right now.
Yeah.
Starting with Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, well, I didn't even mention those. That's probably a podcast for us. I mean, the Joe Biden.
I'm going to read K's book on him, and then we'll do a podcast on it. The real Anthony Fauci, the real Dr. Fauci, the real Anthony. But apparently he discusses a lot of stuff in there, but he never got sued over the book, so it's got to all be true, or
Yeah,
they would have
exactly.
sued the crap out of him.
Which I wonder if AOC's gonna get sued by Trump. She called him a convicted rapist or something online the other day.
He should
He's already
be.
won.
Yeah.
How much did he win against Stephanopoulos? Like $14 million or something.
Yeah. He and Elizabeth Warren complains about him on X every day. She's on there tweeting about how horrible he is every time he does anything. Elizabeth Warren, and I just keep commenting on it. I said, "Can I get your stock tips for this week?" Every time I ask her for stock tips, I'm waiting till she'll block me. Eventually, she'll block me.
This guy. It was some kind of, I don't know what the podcast was, but it wasn't a conservative podcast. I'm not sure if it was a left leaning podcast, but these two guys were talking to this other guy, and he's like, "Wait a minute." So Fauci gets a pardon. And he didn't turn it down. And these guys like, no, he took the pardon. He says, okay, wait a minute now. I got this junk in my arm. What are you getting pardoned for, dude?
Yeah, right.
You told me it was safe, and now I've got it in my arm, and now you get a pardon.
It makes me wonder if he has the COVID vaccine. I wonder if he took it.
Who,
Fauci?
I doubt he did.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I doubt it. But this guy, I mean, he was really upset. I mean, he's like, wait a minute now. What are you getting pardoned for, dude?
Yeah.
This stuff's in me. You know?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. It's when you're pardoning people who there's no crime or no case against them. It's like, what?
Well, I did hear some of the J6 committee members turned it down. They wrote a letter saying back we don't want this. Now I don't know if they can do that or not, but at least they made the attempt to say, hey, we didn't get anything wrong.
That. Yeah.
But Fauci and the Biden family and Hunter they're not turning it down.
Did you hear what Trump said about Biden? He was like, yeah, what I found really interesting is that he pardoned his son and pardoned all these people, but he didn't pardon himself. I was like, ruh-roh, hopefully they don't find any more on him, which, I mean, at this point, I don't think he'd make it through I don't think he'd make it through much more anyway. Biden's about at the end of his rope, I think.
Or one of the scholars was talking about they made a mistake, kind of made a mistake with this because they didn't pardon everybody, like Hillary didn't get a pardon.
Right.
And now that they've been pardoned, they cannot plead the fifth. Because the fifth says you cannot self-incriminate yourself. Well, if there's no danger of you being prosecuted,
right, you're not incriminating yourself.
So
you've got immunity.
If you perjure yourself again,
you have to be careful.
So
so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I think that covers most of that.
Health executive orders, COVID and drug costs. What's the drug cost? I hadn't seen that one.
He withdrew from the World Health Organization.
Yeah, I saw that, and that everybody's upset about that. But
okay. So this one I really need to do more research on because I hope that because he did this, I hope he figures out another fix because I don't like this. He rescinded a 2022 Biden order to lower the cost of prescription drugs. I don't know why he did that or what he's going to replace it with, but I'm hoping he has a plan because prescription drug prices are pretty high, and the way that they weave it where they actually cost more if you buy them with insurance, and the insurance has to pay more, and you pay a higher copay. Like it's all a scam.
Oh, it is.
So I'm hoping he has some kind of replacement for that because that's one I don't like unless he has something. Because I don't think people should have to pay now triple for insulin because he did this. So I hope
he brought down the price of insulin.
He did, but I just
Biden sent it back up.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the.
But again, basic economics. Anytime you see the government doing stuff to lower prices, you're not literally. You may lower prices on that, but you're causing harm somewhere else. Anytime you mess with pricing, you're causing harm somewhere else. And one of the major issues with controlling drug prices this way is you could end up putting drug companies out of business, and then new drugs would be left to the government to have to come up with.
Right. Yeah, you definitely don't want that.
It's a long dissertation behind that I won't get into and bore you here. And it's hard to think about, but if you don't allow a drug company to recoup its cost of putting a drug out, there will be no new drugs.
Right.
Now, with that said, I'm not saying that I don't like pharmaceutical companies either. Evil people.
Yeah.
But there's ways to prosecute illegal activity
Right.
without saying, okay, we're just going to put price controls on stuff, because price controls never work.
No,
Medicine or anything else.
no. I think when it comes to prescription drugs, I think there's got to be a way. I mean, because these companies are some of the most lucrative companies in the world, these pharmaceutical industries. So I know they're making money hand over fist. I think that the scam that they're running with the insurance companies is what I don't like.
And that goes back to government intervention back in the 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you tie all this back. If government would just leave the market alone, let them compete
Yeah.
fairly on that
Yeah.
market. And that's part of the other issues. The FDA doesn't let them compete.
Right. Well, now these pharmaceutical companies are so big, it's almost like they are a government. That's the problem.
It's the issue. Again, if we hadn't allowed that, if we allowed competition, you wouldn't have these large companies.
How do you push that back? How do you make them smaller companies?
That's the issue. I think
give grants to people to open new pharmaceutical companies.
My memory's getting bad. I must be getting old. What's his name? Shoot. The pediatric surgeon, brain surgeon, ran for president.
Ben Carson?
Ben Carson. Good gracious. I cannot remember Ben's name. He's the only one that came close to putting out something I thought was kind of interesting to make this happen. And that is put the buyer and seller back into, he didn't say it like this, but I'm an economist, so I'm going to say it like this. Put the buyer and seller back in the same room together. When you go to see the doctor, you are no longer the buyer, your insurance company is.
Right.
And he's no longer selling his service. Some conglomerate is selling his service.
Yeah.
So the people in the room that have to make a decision about your health are not the ones making the final decision about anything. So he said, put it back into the room by yourself. When everybody's born, give them a medical savings account, the one that doesn't go away at each year. And you put money in that account every month. Just instead of putting in insurance, you put it in that account. And then you spend that money on your health care. And that way, when you go into the room with the doctor, and that means we have to take the conglomerates out of the doctors too. The doctors have to get back in private practice, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
And then y'all would negotiate what's best for you, what can you afford, what can you do, and then get stuff done.
Yeah.
Few people are making that decision. Right now, people outside of that room are making all the decisions, so they care less what's best for what's inside that room.
Right.
That makes sense. And the thing about that money is it would accumulate. If you die, you can leave it to your family members, but they have to only spend it on medical, nothing else.
Okay. Yeah. It's an interesting concept if it can work. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if it could work or not. At this point, anything can work, but we can't get away from what we're doing. It doesn't make any sense. The free market economist point of view, it's stupid that these insurance companies have so much power in telling you what you can and can't have.
Yeah.
And all that comes from power literally put in there by the government, setting all this stuff up. So you got the government, you got pharmaceutical companies, like you said, are big governments. Any big company is like a government, a bureaucracy.
And they're one of the
insurance company. Same thing.
Yeah, and they're all backing these political parties. So they're in their pockets. So it's already a problem.
So there's three major bureaucracies making sure we don't have competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the only way to fix it. We got to put competition back in it, and also then make the doctor accountable for what they're doing, and make doctors get back to studying. Because part of the issue, I mean, let's face it, I know some good doctors that can't be doctors because. And you said you've seen people who quit over this. They want them to see 30, 40 patients a day. You can't take care of 30, 40 patients a day.
No. It's got to be about you got to put quality over quantity when it comes to health. You cannot you can't just pump and dump people out of the hospital and make it a for-profit type of thing. I mean, I know businesses and hospitals have to make money, but when you put that ahead of patient care, like I get like, Art, if you're selling coffee and your main thing is you make decent coffee, but you're trying to make more money, so you make the coffee cheaper, whatever, it's not killing people. But when you're not treating them correctly to make money and it's costing them their lives, that's a whole different concept. That's a whole different than making coffee or running a restaurant or whatever. Exactly. It's a whole different animal. And people trust you because you're a doctor. So if
not
people
as much as you used to.
Well, not as much as they used to, but a lot of people still do, especially elderly people. And they're putting their faith in you. And if you're telling them things that benefit you financially and not that benefit them their health, that, in my opinion, is criminal, and that needs to be reformed entirely.
I agree with that.
When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit BobbyClary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
Mortgage payment, insurance payments, credit card payments, they can be very overwhelming. Are you ready to take the time to get things under control? Then reach out to me at Clark Financial Coaching to see if we can get you started with a budget and then a vision for the future. write me at coachwestc@gmail.com. That's coachwestc@gmail.com. Eisenhower Dental, located at 107 Waccamaw Medical Park Drive in Conway, a place where you can find all your dental services, including general dentistry, cosmetic, restorative, and pediatric dentistry. Reach out to them today at their website, eisenhowerdental.com, or call them at 843-234-3110. 843-234-3110, and tell them Wes the Economist sent you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. This segment is sponsored by Wave Beach Realty, 843-957-3872. Give us a call today.
So yeah, we got sidetracked there a little bit, but
Yeah.
but a good conversation. Maybe that's a note for another podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely so. So going on down, what do you see next on the executive orders?
The TikTok extension, Doge, and more executive orders. So he redesignated is it Houthi or Houthi? Houthi rebels in
Why
Yemen.
were they ever undeclared? That was so stupid by Biden.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. And ensuring government agencies do not unconstitutionally abridge the free speech of any American citizen, highlighting what Trump and his allies considered censorship under Biden. So stopping censorship. I mean,
Yeah.
especially you've seen it on social media. You've seen it across the board, the censorship. So, yeah, I mean, that's got to stop. You can't censor people.
75 days for TikTok, establishing Doge.
Yeah.
A lot of people are upset about Doge. Oh, you can't do that. You can do what I mean, they're not part of the government. They don't have any decision-making ability.
Right. Yeah, they're just analyzing
and
the
already
budget.
people are getting this confused with the Doge committee in Congress.
Yeah.
Because there's now also a Doge committee in Congress
Right.
supposed to work with this
Yeah.
group.
Yep.
Declaring that federal buildings should respect regional, traditional, and classical architectural heritage. Beautiful public spaces that enable the United States. I don't know if you read about this, but Trump's a builder. He's a contractor. He loves architecture.
I know.
And he just thinks our stuff. What did I think was it him or somebody called it Hoover Building?
Yeah.
So ugly and just reminiscent of the Soviet Union type buildings.
Right.
Renaming the Mount McKinley again.
Yeah.
And the Gulf of America. I've literally seen maps now with Gulf of America on it.
Yeah, that's so funny. I like that he revoked John Bolton's security clearance.
And all his detail.
Yeah.
This one I was surprised at. The Lumbee tribe
Yeah.
was federally organized.
I didn't until I just read this now. I didn't know that he federally recognized the Lumbee tribe.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's interesting.
Reported. Out of all this other stuff, I mean that tribe's here obviously. This is the one here locally, I assume. It's got to be the one from the Lumberton area, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So it just kind of
that's
caught me
local. I know a lot of Lumbee people. I didn't know he did that.
Well,
I forgot they weren't federally recognized.
A few days ago, but didn't have a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see.
Interesting.
Yep, Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, full federal benefits associated with it.
Yeah.
I thought they were already.
I didn't know that I didn't know that they weren't recognized. Obviously a big one, declassifying the files related to JFK, RFK, and MLK assassinations. Big one I'm excited about. I would like to see more on the MLK one too. The Robert Kennedy and JFK will probably tie in a little bit with some CIA stuff, but I think the Martin Luther King one might actually have more damning stuff in it than the other two.
I would think it would.
So I'm really excited about that. I can't believe they've kept that.
I got to find that X-Files episode for you. Let you watch it.
I'll have to. I'll eat that up. So I'm waiting patiently. Not patiently. I'm not patiently waiting. I am waiting in full anticipation for those files to be released, and so I can get a podcast out on what's been discovered and talk more about that. I'm super excited about that.
We'll spend a whole week on that.
Oh, Lord, especially if it's 3,500 page documents. Yeah. I'm sure somebody will put out a podcast where I can get a good summary of everything that's on there. I'm sure people will be talking about it once they're out.
I'm sure there's going to be thousands of hours on it.
Yeah. Digital assets, supporting the use of digital assets.
He's
making big crypto. Yeah, I bought some of his meme coin.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Did you really?
I did. I think it's down right now, though. Let me see what I'm at today. I probably don't.
Has there been a meme coin that actually made money?
If you, I think if you bought it, I'm down $330 on it. Lovely. If you buy and sell them at the right time, it's very highly volatile, and you got to watch them, and you got to sell them at the
That
right time.
the what's that girl's name? The had the video.
Oh,
Good gracious! Like she took her fans to the cleaners.
oh, she but made the coin, and the next day it was bankrupt.
Yeah.
People lost millions on that. Yeah, that was, yeah. So I'll
I'm
probably,
actually going to the WhiteHouse.gov just kind of see anything.
yeah,
So it's the same time at delivering emergency price relief for American families, defeating the cost of living crisis. So opposite of doing away with the pharmaceutical pricing, um, putting America first in international environmental agreements was one of the orders. I feel like that list was missing some of them. I can't remember. I don't see anything yet. There's literally 6 pages of executive orders on the WhiteHouse.gov.
yeah. There's a lot. He's done a lot. He has done a lot. Wikipedia, as of 4 hours ago, has uploaded.
Putting people over fish, stopping radical environmentalism to provide water to Southern California.
That's funny.
Uh,
Holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive governmental information. So that should lead to more disclosure of information the public needs to know, I'm assuming.
I would hope so. But again, all these executive orders, it's going to take time. And
Yeah. Yep, it'll definitely take time. He's also, bless you, clarifying the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States. I mean, these are all good things. These are all good things.
I'm not seeing, I mean, I think we covered about everything.
Yeah.
The Lumbee tribe was on the
Yeah,
23rd.
that's pretty cool. I didn't know he did that.
Executive grant clemency for Terrence Sutton. I'm not sure who that was.
He restored the death penalty and protecting public safety.
Hmm.
Yeah, he did that on the 20th. It says declaring a national energy emergency, um, protecting the American people against invasion, the Alaska, opening Alaska back up, establishing and implementing the Doge.
As I said before, shock and awe. He just, I mean, there's so much going on. And this is just the orders. I mean, everything else he's doing internally
hmm
is got everybody up in arms.
Restoring names that honor American greatness.
Delaney, that's Mount McKinley, and
Yep. Yep.
a lot of things we've gone through the last 14 years.
Yep. He designated Answer Allah as a foreign terrorist organization.
Oh, I heard this was it on Dan Bongino yesterday, or one of the things I was listening to, a clip from the correspondence dinner from 2013 or 2012
hmm
that Trump was in attendance for, and Obama was speaking,
hmm
and Obama just insulted him over and over again.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you remember.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
And they were saying that may be in the moment that Trump decided, well, I can do this.
Yeah, that he's not somebody that you want to tell them they can't do something.
Yeah, he said,
or like
don't poke
to
the bear.
mock them. Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
poke the bear.
yeah.
And he definitely, they played the audio from Obama's speech. He was poking the bear.
Oh yeah, I
Because
remember
he
he
was
was
mad
joking
because
with.
he was questioning where he was born at.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah,
still think is a legitimate question.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Who knows, man? That's we'll
At
never
the
get to
very,
the bottom of that
at the
one.
very minimum, he lied in college about where he was from,
Yeah,
which to me is a pretty big deal.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah. Too late now, but yeah. So he's done.
I think this last election cycle took away his power there. I think he's lost
I
it.
think a lot of it's gone now. That's why he was so. Yeah, that's why he was campaigning so hard for Kamala,
you know,
knowing very well that.
He's gonna be with Aniston here soon anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You seen
yeah,
that?
yeah. I did see that. I did see that.
him and Michelle are getting divorced.
Yeah, I saw.
Takes
Yeah, I've seen all that on. It's all
Jennifer
over.
Aniston.
If you go on Twitter, all that mess
Oh,
is
my
on there. It's so
gracious.
funny, but yeah,
People are something else.
yeah, yeah, they are.
Well, he started off. I mean, this literally hadn't been a week yet,
Yeah, I know.
and he's done more in this week than. I mean, I can't think of any president, even in 2 years, doing everything he's done. Now
It's
he's
crazy how quick it's
he's-
happening. Yeah,
he's fanned the flames.
yeah, he has.
It's going to be I mean, it's a
Yep.
culture shift coming, and the media just is shooting himself in the foot because they
Yep.
still are holding that line that this guy's bad, but he got majority of the votes,
Yeah.
majority of the states.
Yep. Yep, it's
Sorry.
crazy. Let's see. Charlie Kirk, 30 minutes ago. Breaking. President Trump lays out 2 conditions for federal aid to California: 1, voter ID; 2, let the water flow. That's so funny. I mean, yeah, I mean that's fair.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Jeez, what a
So,
mess.
but
Well,
looking at California though, just so we don't live there, so we can look at this one. California's debt clock. California by itself owes at this point, um, it's not coming out, $621 billion in debt.
yeah. Yikes.
So they owe almost about 100% of their yearly income going out,
Yeah. Crazy.
which is crazy because they have almost $4 trillion in GDP. That's about
Yeah.
what 10%, about 15% of our overall GDP of the country.
Right.
But they're like a lot of blue states, they're in a lot of trouble.
Crazy.
Of course, South Carolina, we've had our own troubles here. With
Oh yeah.
$43 billion in debt, which is crazy. And you know what was it? How much was it that we found, quote unquote, and then unfound it? I don't know if you heard about all this.
Yeah. I know. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you lose it and find it. That's
Well, the
crazy.
question is that supposedly we were earning interest on it.
Well, that's
How
good.
can you earn interest on money that wasn't there?
I don't know. It's
So,
none of it makes
I
sense.
hadn't heard that. I heard the lieutenant governor saying that no, we actually didn't earn interest. I hadn't heard the whole story, but all right. Well, Doge, since we've been recording today, is up to over $15 billion saved.
Well,
So,
I mean that's not too bad for what 3 days running now.
yeah,
3 or 4
yeah,
days.
for 3
they've been-
days, and these
yeah.
are all estimates, obviously, but
Yeah, I don't know how they come up with
technically,
these numbers. I don't know how they get any. How do you find the national debt? Like, how do you even search? Like, how do they
the
keep track of
national
it?
debt is literally how many open bonds there are. So that
Okay,
is
so you
a
can.
large
So it's
number.
it's okay. Got it.
Now that number, you'll find it different by billions of dollars because of interest payments when it's due, when it coming due.
Right, of
So
course.
it's
But
not
it's
gonna
in
be
the
an
ballpark.
exact. Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's 36 trillion. It's probably, I would safely say there's 35 to 36 trillion dollars of outstanding paper on U.S. Treasury bonds,
Yeah.
Treasury notes.
Wow.
So
23 million U.S. millionaires. 37 million living
yeah,
in poverty.
and that doesn't really, that really doesn't mean what it used to when
Mm-mm.
you think about it.
No.
Where you seen that at anyway?
In the red down or green at the bottom. But yep, right there, U.S. millionaires,
Okay.
and then above it, living in poverty, 37 million. How many people are in the United States?
335 million.
So 23 million. So you said 335 million?
Mm-hmm. Less than 10%.
23 million divided by
This is riveting radio and video numbers.
6.8% of the country are millionaires.
I wish that was one of them.
Me too. Me too. What are you looking at me like that for?
I don't know. Are you?
No, no. I would have a nicer podcast studio if I was a millionaire.
No, I think you'd be like me. You would never know if you were a millionaire.
I'm definitely when it comes to, I'm not an extravagant person by any
I don't
means.
think I don't take that about you. That
If
I
I was
would
worth
actually
10
know.
million, I'd still have my hoodie on and my
Exactly.
sweats for
Exactly.
sure.
So many stories of these, especially these older men with the cowboy boots on, their hat look all rough and what's mean.
And they'll
I
go
had
buy a car and they'll want to give them the time of day.
some guy I went to high school with. He made a mistake one time and sent out a picture of a bank receipt because something happened at the bank. What
Yeah.
he didn't realize was his deposit, his total account number was on there, and he had like $1.5 million in that account.
Yeah.
And it lit up in comments like, "Excuse me." And nobody thought this guy had anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be
Just in
amazed.
his checking account, he had $1.5 million.
I've learned that just from clients that I've sold properties to. Like sometimes now you have some that are very like over the top and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, I got money." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
fine, buy a house, cool." But there's some that I've had that they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna be cash buyers." Okay, cool. And then they send me like their proof of funds letter, and you would have thought they had nothing. They got like 3.2 million in a like a money market account, and I'm like, "Good Lord." I was like, you got
That
me.
would
You
be-
tricked me. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be flashy and
Maybe
extravagant.
one day where I can actually be that way, but I would definitely not be flashy.
No reason for that.
There'd be signs if I won the lottery, but it wouldn't be.
There would
big
be signs. They'd be like, Jonathan travels to Italy quite a bit. Jonathan goes to random countries all the time for no reason and says he's
Exactly.
recording his podcast there and writes it off on his taxes. But other than that,
Oh, great.
oh man,
All right, you ready to end this one up?
yeah, I think we've pretty much hit all of the everything that he's done. So, well, we haven't hit everything he's done, but we've
No,
at least touched
we've
on all the
talked a lot.
executive orders.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have more to talk about next week. But yeah, we'll wrap it up and
That sounds good.
keep on moving.
All right, man.
All right, guys. Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
Want to know more about economics? Then look for my podcast, Econ Sense, in Apple and Spotify, or reach out to me at wes.the.economist@gmail.com. It's wes.the.economist@gmail.com.
You looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast.